was so nervous that like one of his assistants was going to know that I was sneaking out of the country and I was going to get caught. Well, I know this vlog is going out pretty late today, but that's Vlogtober. Sometimes things take a while. I actually did not film anything the last couple of days. Just been busy. People over, setting up Halloween things with Troy and shopping. And I figured, what the heck, we need something for today. So I thought I would tell you guys a story from when Kacy was pregnant with Hudsyn. And at the time, we didn't know that Hudsyn was going to be Hudsyn. We didn't even know that we were having a girl. We had decided not to find out. We decided to be surprised. Kacy and I had been chatting about our future as far as what my career was going to look like. Before we knew we were pregnant, we were talking about me changing from being a nightclub bartender, competitive flair bartender, to just maybe being a private bartender, doing private events, weddings and conventions, and getting myself hired out to maybe even travel with some of that because we were so into travel. So we started looking into places that might be looking for flair bartenders of my skill level. I don't know, hoping to take it on the road. And Kacy was excited to maybe travel along with me on some of these. We thought, you never know, something could come up in Australia and maybe we could move to Australia for a while or anywhere else. We just thought, what the heck, let's see if this can go take us to see the world. So we were still exploring that when we found out we were pregnant. Kacy did some research. She found a, what they call a headhunter, somebody who would help find jobs for people and find people for jobs. This guy, I remember his name was Charles. And so we were connected with Charles, and Charles connected us with this guy named Nadim, who was in the country of Bahrain, which is right off the east coast of Saudi Arabia. It's this island nation. It's almost like the Las Vegas of the Middle East. There's not gambling there, but it's a lot of the people from Saudi Arabia come over to Bahrain to party, because you're not allowed to drink in Saudi Arabia. And so being connected to him, he was looking to open a nightclub and he wanted to have an entertainment bartender. So had found me first, I guess, and then had looked into, there were like 2 or 3 Italian flair bartenders that were going to maybe be coming later that I was going to help train, and then I was going to come back. I was going to be there for like 3 months. Timer went off. I had to get my enchilada casserole out of the oven. My watch kept buzzing and buzzing, and I thought, what is that? Oh yeah, I have something in the oven. Good thing I set a timer. I would have forgotten. It would have burned. I was going to be there for maybe 3 months. I think the original deal was maybe a month, and then we agreed to 3 months. And I was going to be getting $1,500 a week and tips, and my meals on work days were going to be supplied, and I was going to have a place to live and transportation, and my flight was covered to get there, and it was going to be a pretty sweet deal. And here's Kacy back in Kansas City, pregnant with our kid. It's kind of a dumb decision, I think. But speaking of dumb decisions, I met with the guy. He was a very posturing kind of guy. He liked to wear some jewelry and bracelets and dressed real nice, and had his like Russian girlfriend there, and his really nice, like the nicest building in Bahrain. And I got over there and it was cool. Like I landed at, I think it was like 10:30 at night. I can't remember the guy's name, but I got picked up at the airport, and instead of taking me straight to my living quarters, they took me straight to Nadim's house, and we sat and talked for like an hour or two. He gave me a phone that I was to use while I was there, and then I got to go to my apartment, which they call them flats, which I think some of you viewers that are like in the UK, it's a flat, an apartment, a flat. I had a 3-bedroom flat. It had marble floors. It had like 18-foot ceilings. The building had a pool on the roof. I was 2 blocks from what they called American Alley and 3 blocks from the naval base, the American naval base. They had American Alley there because, you know, it had Burger King and Chili's and a bunch of stuff there for the Navy people to be able to go down and feel like they're home. Anyway, I didn't get there till like midnight. He introduced me to, now they had the apartment right above me, and there were 3 girls and 1 guy, and they were all from Belarus. They were Russians. And the girls were singers and dancers, and the guy was the like MC slash DJ. And I guess this club was supposed to be, the only way I can really explain it is kind of like, it was almost like a strip club where they don't take their clothes off. The girls were going to perform, they were going to sing and dance. They weren't given money. People who would come to the bar were allowed to, well, they would buy these, like a necklace of flowers, like this bouquet kind of a necklace. And then if you liked the girls' performance, you would give them that. And these things would be, they started at like $50. And so they would put this necklace of flowers on the girls. And then after the song was over, those girls could go turn those flowers in for money. Strange, I don't know. Anyway, they were really nice. The Russians were super nice. Only 2 of them spoke English. The DJ, who had been in the Middle East for working for like 13 years, he was pretty familiar. He showed me around, helped me out to like find some food that night, and I don't know, everything was going good. Then I had a couple of meetings. Well, the first meeting though was I met with Nadim like 2 days later at the marina, which is where this nightclub was going to be built. It wasn't even built yet. We're sitting out at the pool, which, by the way, we were supposed to meet at like, say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I got there at, I think I got there at like 12:30 or 1. So I got there early because, you know, like, let's get started. He didn't show up until it was like 4:30 or 5. Doesn't apologize for coming in late or anything. Doesn't even talk about it. Just sits down and says, okay, this is where we're going to build the nightclub. What? He's like, oh yeah, it'll only take a month or 2 for us to build it, and then it'll be done. I'm thinking, well, what am I going to be doing for a month or 2? I'm only here for 3 months. I've been involved with some nightclubs being built. It's going to take longer than that. I'm thinking, boy, this is not looking good already. The being late part, apparently explained to me by Alex, the Russian DJ. No, that's just the way it is in the Middle East. In fact, that's the way it is in a lot of warmer countries. It's people are just late. They don't really show up on time, kind of the way it is. He goes, it takes a while to get used to it, but that's it. My theory on that is when you're from like a northern climate where winter actually happens, you're always preparing for winter. You're trying to get your crops planted and grown and harvested before the winter comes, and so there's a sense of urgency. Well, when you're in a warmer climate, there is no sense of urgency. It's just, you know, tomorrow will be here and we'll just get around to it kind of thing. So Bahrain was cool. I actually had a friend from my flair bartending competition days who had a friend who was stationed at the naval base there, and so he put me in contact with her. So I was able to actually go onto the naval base a couple of times and go to their PX. It's kind of like, it was almost like a Target on base. They sold groceries and darn near anything else you could want. Radios, and yeah, it was kind of cool. So I was able to get some more standard food items there. I tell you something else that was interesting. Speaking of food items, here in the United States, we pay a lot for gas. If you're in Britain or somewhere else, petrol. Like over here, I think we were paying like $3.50 a gallon at that time. And over there, fuel was 70 cents a gallon or even less. But over here, you can get a bag of frozen peas for, I think, like $2 or so, something like that. Over there, it was like $7 and $8 for a bag of frozen peas. Like, produce was so expensive. Well, it was a desert island in the middle of a desert part of the world. There was just like no progress being made towards this bar being open. One night, Alex tells me, and I think this was on a Thursday, and I was supposed to meet with Nadim on Sunday because I had already said, hey, my money isn't showing up in my account. I've been here a week now. He says, I'm supposed to be paying you after we open the club. I said, that was not the deal. The deal was $1,500 a week. I'm literally sitting here not making money this is not okay. So that was the meeting on Sunday. He was going to work out getting me paid. On Thursday, Alex had told me, hey, letting you know, we've been here not getting paid for, I think they've been there for like 4 months, something like that. And he said, Nadim is getting ready to fly us to Turkey so that we can renew our visa. He has to give us our passports in order to fly. And once we get to Turkey, since we'll have our passports in hand, we're gonna fly back to Belarus. We're not staying here because we haven't been paid. So I just wanted to let you know that that was happening. So it was really nice meeting you. I said, hold on just a minute. I got a round trip ticket, open-ended. I guess I'll fly back home too. I think I'll get out of here because yeah, I haven't been paid either. I also found out that Nadim had gone to Dubai and wasn't expected back. When I talked to his assistant, she said, yeah, he won't be back until Tuesday. And then they're flying to Turkey with the Russians. So we're supposed to meet on Sunday. Something wasn't adding up. So Kacy and I started looking into my open-ended ticket, got it scheduled to fly me out on Saturday. Flight's at midnight. He says, how are you getting out of here without your passport? I said, well, I don't know about you, but as a United States citizen, we don't give our passports away when we go to another country. He was so blown away by that because he's like, I should have thought of that. when I came here, I would have got out of here a long time ago. I knew that Nadim had a couple of his assistants that were there that might see me packing up, so I was trying to be really sneaky about getting out of the country. My flight being at midnight, I actually left my flat. I think I left at like 4:30. I got a taxi. Unfortunately, when I got to the airport, I wasn't allowed to go through security until like 5 hours was the minimum before my flight. So I had to sit out there for a couple of hours and wait. And I was so nervous that like one of his assistants was going to know that I was sneaking out of the country and I was going to get caught. I just sat there and waited. I didn't have access to the internet in those days. This was 2010. It wasn't as easy to get on stuff then. Finally, I was able to go through security. I got through. Once I was on that plane, finally my heart wasn't racing. My adrenaline wasn't pumping so bad. And I was so happy to sit down on that plane. I had a layover in Amsterdam. In fact, went through Amsterdam on the way over and went through Amsterdam on the way back. I think I had like a 3-hour layover, 4-hour layover, maybe more. It ended up being like a 5-hour layover because they had to switch the plane or there was something wrong with the plane. And then we got in the plane and there was all this backup traffic in the Amsterdam airport because so many flights were trying to avoid the volcano that was going off at the time and blocking air travel pretty bad. So we sat in the plane for like 3 hours before we could actually take off. And then once we took off, that was a longer flight by like 3 or 4 hours than it was supposed to be because they had to avoid the smoke cloud. I got to Detroit and had like a 4-hour layover in Detroit and then finally got on the plane and got home. I think all told my travel was like 28 hours, 29 hours. I was so exhausted when I got back. But it turns out in Omaha, there was a bartending competition. I actually packed up my stuff and drove to Omaha on that Monday and competed in a bartending competition. I went to the finals of it and had a great time. And then I came home and rested. Weird vlog today, but story time. Hudsyn wasn't even born yet. And I thought I was going to travel the world being a bartender. Who would have ever thought that I was going to end up being a YouTuber? Well, haha, it wouldn't be a vlog if I didn't show you the kids, right? And I forgot to close it out, so just getting the kids in off the bus.
Let me close it out with you.
Hi there. Are you so happy to be home? Yeah, why don't you help me close it out? You want to close it?
Well, me and Hudson.
All right, let's do it.
To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. So go be somebody's world. Bang.
Bam. All right, see you in the next episode. See you in the next episode, guys. Don't forget, you can go to seethesitespam.com and get yourself one of these Hopester shirts. All right, now you can bam. Wait a minute. Now you can bam.
Bam.